ready for our next press conference. This will be with the number 9 seed USF Bulls. They have the 11:30 game Friday morning against number 8 seed Miami. We're represented for the Bulls today, our head coach Jose Fernandez, and student athletes Betty Munungu and Elena Chineka. Hope we came close. Jose, if you make an opening statement first, we'll go from there.
Well, first, I'd like to thank the City of Columbia and the University of South Carolina and their organization as host for this first round event. For us, we've been here before, so not to Columbia, South Carolina, but we've been a part of this tournament for 7 out of the last 10 years. We're very excited to play tomorrow. Quick turnaround for us, just because we finished our conference tournament at this time 7 days from today. So we'll get on the main floor later on after this press conference and get ready to tip it off tomorrow at 11:30.
We'll open up for questions just for the student athletes at this time. You would raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Jeffrey.
For both of you, how familiar are you with Miami? I mean, are these people that you played with growing up or that you've known around basketball circles?
Elena, you want to start?
I mean, we played against them before, and we know they're a great team, and they beat Louisville, and that's a great achievement. So in this time of the year, you just gotta go hard, no matter what team you play, and give your best. So yeah, that's it.
Betty?
We know some girls, especially, for example, Maria. She has a former teammate, Lola Pendadode. We know her from national team, so we familiar with them. And then whenever we went to the Bahamas, they were there too, so we had a time to meet them.
Joe?
For each of you personally, what have you done over the span of this week where you've kind of had a little bit of time to get ready? Obviously, there's a lot of travel and packing and just kind of craziness with this time of year, but what were you focused on personally? Was it kind of just the mental side, kind of decompressing from the season? Was it just kind of focusing for the game? What was kind of your preference over these last 7 days?
Betty, let's start with you.
I've been watching some games, especially their tournament, because like Elena said, they had an impressive tournament, and I was especially watching my matchup. This is something I like to do, see how she plays, how can she score, and how I can play against her. So that's really how I got prepared for this tournament.
Elena?
For me, I just want to concentrate on being focused, 100% focused, and every game that we play, and especially here that we are in the tournament, there's no time to waste, and you need to show up no matter what.
Jeffrey?
For the both of you, are you glad to be in an environment like this where there's going to be a decent number of fans that are excited, and even though it's a home court environment? Or do you wish this tournament was at neutral sites and maybe, especially if you make the next round, you might not have to face a team on some court?
Elena, just go ahead.
I mean, I love playing again. I love playing with as many fans as possible, and this is a great atmosphere for all of us. I don't think that there's somebody that don't like people watching, even if they're not supporting you especially, but yeah, just playing in front of a big crowd, I think is just motivating, so it's not a problem.
Betty?
I mean, like she said, it's great, to have fans, because last year we went to the NCAA tournament, but we had fans, but it's not like we are expecting right now, And like Coach Jose said, he prepared us for these kind of moments. So yes, we're just hungry.
Joe, do you have a question?
Over the last couple of days, obviously with travel, what has been kind of your focal point, obviously on Miami, but was there something that you learned from the conference tournament, the last few games before this postseason has started, that kind of helped you better understand yourself or your team?
All right, let's go to Betty first with that.
I will just say we are starting a brand new season. Whatever you did in the past is great, is good. You can learn from it, but we starting over, so anything can happen. And Miami is the proof, you know. They beat up some good teams, so we just need to be ready and play as hard as we can because it can be our last game.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And what I learned about myself, I would say, is that when the team needs you, kind of step up. And as for everybody, I believe that we gotta stick together and go hard in every moment, every position matters. Yeah.
I'm curious for both of you, Elena, can you go first? Just what has Coach stressed this week to be the key to winning tomorrow morning against Miami? The matchup you have, a lot of times an 8-9 match, teams are theoretically pretty even. So what's the key for victory for the Bulls? Elena?
I mean, the key to victory is just play like we play, like we know how to play. There's games that we were sluggish before, and as I said, in this time of the year, there's no room for that. We gotta play like we know how to play and really communicate and play defense. So defense is the key, and then everything starts from defense. Yeah.
Betty?
He also mentioned that the game will be won on the glass. Everybody have to crush the board. Everybody got to block out, and also shut down the best player over there. I mean, let's say the main players.
Any other questions from the floor? If not, we can go to Leo. Leo, if you want, go ahead.
For both girls, you've been down this road already. How important is it to know the experience of going to the tournament?
Let's go with Betty with that first.
I mean, like you said, we've been here before. It's really great to have a senior group because we know what it will take to get to the second round. And like I said before, this is a brand new season, so everybody have to give everything they have because it could possibly be the last game of the season. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, but once again, we have to prove that we are a good team.
Elena?
Yeah, as Betty said, we've been here before, and that's gone. Now it's the time to actually prove more and go farther than we did last year, and that will take a lot of effort.
Francisco, did you have a question? I saw your hand up.
It was similar to the previous one, so.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from our Zoom audience? Seeing none, student athletes can go. I wish you good luck for tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we'll open up for questions for Coach. Jeffrey?
Miami's coach was mentioning y'all texted each other right after the bracket came out. You've spent time together in coaches' clinics and everything.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing when you've got that you two know each other this well?
I've known Katie for a long time, and she's a friend, and I think we have a great amount of respect for each other's program. We've served on NCAA committees together, WBCA committees together, so it's just kind of interesting that you have 6 teams from the state of Florida, and 4 of them are meeting in the first round. So we found that a little different.
I asked the student athletes this, and I'll ask you, what's the key for victory for the Bulls? What do you have to do when you come in here after the game tomorrow and say, yes, we did this, or we didn't do this?
I think it's going to be a multitude of things you just can't say. For us, we got to do a great job taking care of the basketball, being who we are, sharing it, making sure we execute on the offensive end and in regards to whatever type of defense Miami's playing. And then on the other end, we got to really be solid defensively. We got to do a good job keeping Miami in front of us, making sure they make contested shots over us, and it's got to be one shot and out because the glass is going to be very, very important tomorrow.
One thing that Katie mentioned was she thought the last time you played was in Anchorage, and we were coaching at that time, and was the travel here a little easier than getting up to to Alaska?
Yeah, well, I've been at South Florida for 22 years, so the only regular that Katie and I have coached against one another was when she was a trip that we went out to Anchorage, Alaska, and we played, and then when she was at Charlotte, and I was at South Florida. We've done close scrimmages before the season. We haven't in the last 2 years just because of COVID, but it was always a deal that we met halfway between Miami and Tampa, and we had 4 hours, and we both worked on a lot of stuff. So that's as close to as we've played against one another.
Jeffrey?
You mentioned this isn't your first NCAA tournament. One thing the NCAA promised is that everything was going to be better for the women this year. It was going to be equal to the men, the travel, the amenities. You've got March Madness logo behind you. Have you seen any of that yet?
You know what? I want to take everything in and reserve my judgment after the weekend here. I know there are a lot of things that the NCAA could not control with what we still have going on in regards to travel. So, in regards to equity, you can't blame that on the NCAA because there's men. I know a lot of men's coaches around the country, and it was very difficult for there's crews, there's planes, there's routes. We found out. I think probably about 10, 12 hours before we left that you're leaving at 9 a.m. You got to drive from Tampa to St. Pete an hour and 15 minutes and jump on a plane. Well, there's problems all around the country in regards to charter airplanes and everything like that. In regards to hotels, when you have 16 sites, right, and you have 3 teams that you got to put it in hotels, that hasn't changed. During the regular season, we stay in better hotels than we always stay in the NCAA tournament, because most cities there's not a lot of full service hotels, and so until you go to neutral sites, that situation's not going to change, I don't think. We had a good dinner last night, like we do when we go on the road. The going to 68 teams, this is something that should have been done a long time ago. Long time ago. How long have the men been at 68? There was no reason that the women shouldn't have been at 68. I like the logo. It's distinctive. We got our own orange instead of the gray. So, but we'll see. We'll see what, I know there was a lot of complaints about the swag bags and all that stuff last year. So I haven't seen those. As far as branding and marketing, again, we just arrived. We practiced in the practice facility here yesterday. So we look forward to taking that all in.
Jeffrey?
We'll follow up with the neutral site question. Is that
Yeah.
something you would like to see? Would you like to see the women's tournament go to all neutral sites?
Well, it definitely takes a home court advantage out of it. I thought last year where we had the NCAA tournament was different. You're sequestered. If we're going to go to neutral sites, you got to go to sites where teams are supported, and it's got to be cities that are that hey, you're forward thinking, and maybe you're at that site for 3-4 years where that community knows that the NCAA tournament's always going there for the next 3-4 years. So then it's on a neutral floor, right? Which, I don't know how much that matters for us. We're always playing 5-6 games on a neutral floor in November, December. So it's good for us, in non-conference. We got to really look at financially if that's feasible as well. here, I'm pretty sure that this first and second round is going to be very well attended. You know, so now not every 16 site around the country is going to be as well attended as here or Iowa State or Connecticut or Louisville, just to name a few. So now I know there's more talk about, instead of going to the regional sites, the idea of Vegas being, the final 16 and all in one place, right? So I still think there's a lot of people working on these things and taking a look at what can we do to continue to improve our game.
Joe?
You've kind of already touched on kind of the chaos of just the optics of the tournament and just getting here and getting settled. How much of your time since Selection Sunday has been just getting your team settled, getting your staff ready to go, and how much of it has actually been digging into Miami and getting ready for playing the game?
When it comes like this, you can get frustrated at a lot of different things. You got to control who you can control, but man, what's in front of you? We got back. We played for our conference championship on that Thursday. Friday, we traveled home. Travel day, so we didn't do anything that day. We gave the kids Saturday, Sunday off. Sunday, we had selection show Sunday night. We had dinner. We had all our fans at the Yingling Center. We did that, and then Monday we practiced. Tuesday we practiced. We traveled up here yesterday morning. We relaxed in the hotel in the afternoon, and we practiced in the practice facility. And now we're on the main floor and play tomorrow at 11:30. We're not shooting around tomorrow morning for an 11:30 game. I'm not getting these guys up at 5 a.m. So you can't control that time either. It's just different. But I think that's why you play. You might play an elementary school day game, which we did. We've played at that time before. We played 4 games in the Bahamas where we had to play a couple early games. You try during the season to put your team in as many situations where it's going to mimic the conference tournament. 3 games in 3 days. Well, we played 3 in 3 days. We're off 2.5, and then we played another Stanford in the Bahamas. We played 2 and 2 going down to West Palm, where it mimics where a conference tournament, you're in the bye and to win the conference championship, you got to win 3 in 3 days. So, so we've been through that.
Joe?
Just finally for me, obviously you've been at South Florida for such a long time, and what do you kind of consider to be your team's kind of foundation for the season? Every season is different with every team. Obviously last year with kind of the way the tournament was just because of COVID, a little bit different, but going to this tournament, what do you think is kind of your team's calling card?
Yeah, every year's different, every team's different. I thought we tested our team in November, December, went on the road to Tennessee, lost a close game. We lost Arlington on the road that won the Sun Belt, and then we played West Virginia and Ole Miss in a tournament, and we had Connecticut, Syracuse, Oregon, and Stanford as well. So that's what we wanted. That's what essentially we wanted to do. Last year we won the league. We beat Mississippi State. We lost to Baylor. Our only loss in conference was Central Florida. We won our conference tournament, and we ended up being an 8 seed, and we were in the top 25. So our goal was play a great non-conference schedule and try and get a better seed. Well, we didn't do what we needed to do we lost to UCF 3 times. They're really good. Gave one up against Tulane and another one against Arlington. And, Ole Miss is a very good team. Had a good year. So we didn't really have bad losses. We had some good wins, not enough of them. Virtually the 5 that we're starting tomorrow at 11:30 started against Washington State last year in the NCAA tournament. And we were able to get through that first game, and we're up at halftime against the number 1 seed in NC State last year. So, these guys, they know now, are we everybody this time of year has something going on health-wise, right? we're definitely not the same team we were in November, December, but we're still a pretty good team that's won 24 games.
Anything else from the floor? If not, we do have some Zoom questions. Leo Haggerty, you're up first. There you go.
Coach, you've got people on your team that have been there now 6 years. You could probably declare them on your income tax. How hard is it to see them actually have to leave at the end of this year?
Leo, you're the best, man. Well, Shay's been with us 6 years. That's the only one. So, I don't know. I probably couldn't declare on my income tax because she's been there so long, right? What, 26? You can't do health insurance anymore for your kid? No. You know, Shay's been through a lot. You know, Betty, very fortunate to have her, 3 years just because she got that extra COVID year, being a junior college transfer. I mean, they understand. Trust me, every team now, they understand their next loss, their season's over, right? So what is it? What's the date today? April, what is it, March what? 17th, St. Patrick's Day, right? Well, a lot of team seasons finished that last February 28th. So they've been doing workouts and recruiting, right? The ACC, Big Ten, they finished over a week ago. So they were able to go this past week and a half, go recruiting and get a lot of stuff done. We haven't been able to do that just because our conference tournament finished on Thursday. So we've been nonstop just worried about us. But you know what? It's a great opportunity. You got two really good basketball teams that are going to play at 11:30, and one of them is going to get a chance to play in an unbelievable atmosphere against a very, very good basketball team on Sunday.
Francisco Rosa.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, Leo.
Hey, Coach, you've mentioned you have a lot of players returning from, the starting five returning as that NCAA experience. But what's the message to players like Dulcie and the guys that haven't been here before that are expected to play bigger roles?
Well, we'll find out. This is new for them too, right? Because, Dulcie transferred in, so did Ariel. We got other guys that haven't played meaningful minutes in this type of environment. But, when Maria went down, we're going to need another perimeter and somebody else to give us some minutes tomorrow at 11:30.
And Joey Knight.
Joey's working on the Bucks. Did we get anybody else come out of retirement?
No. Can you hear me all right?
I got you, Joey.
No, not yet.
All right.
Um,
We haven't
I
found
know
more
that-
receivers for Brady or a running back yet?
Maybe Julio Jones.
Oh, I like that one.
Everybody does. I noticed Miami in their conference tournament, they didn't allow more than 61 points in any game. From what you've seen, what has made them so effective defensively down the stretch?
Well, I think they do a great job pressuring the point guard. They do a really, really good job. We got to make sure we have multiple guys that can handle the basketball and get us into our offense. I think they do a great job not allowing the ball to get into the paint. When the ball goes inside, too, they do a good job of doubling and rotating out. It's nothing easy, I don't know how much fun the game's going to watch, but I think you're going to see two good teams that defend and rebound. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes and does a good job getting easier shots and makes those shots is going to come out of that game successful. So you're saying it might be a race to 60, Joey?
Indeed.
Oh,
Based on my
11:30, people
homework.
might be turning the channel to something else at 11:30, but what's on tomorrow at 11:30 on Friday?
I'd rather watch you than the Young and the Restless.
Nice. As the bull turns, maybe tomorrow, too. Is that show still on?
Any other questions from our Zoom audience? Don't see any other hands. I think we're good. All right, Coach, we'll let you go. Good luck tomorrow at 11:30 on ESPN2.
Thank you.